Hello, hi, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Heather Corinne, and today we're going to be crocheting this crown coffee sleeve or coffee cozy. I just love how this turned out. This video is designed to go along with the written blog post that you can find a link for in the description box below, as well as a list of all the materials we'll be using for this project. You can choose to use 2 or 3 colors, but my personal preference is using just 2 colors like I'm showing here. I'm thinking for this tutorial I'm going to use a light jasmine or this light purple color instead of the pink, and I'm going to continue to use this gold color for the base of the crown. So let's get started. To begin, we're going to be using color number 1, or this gold color, because it's starting at the bottom of the mug. We're creating a slip knot and putting it on our hook, and then we're going to chain 29 chain stitches. Beginning row 1, we're going to single crochet in each stitch across. That'll be a total of 28 stitches for this row. And at the end of each row, we're going to chain 1 and turn the work around. So we're going to continue to single crochet in each stitch across for rows 2 and 3, and I'll meet you back at the end of row 3. Here we are at the end of row 3. I have 1 stitch left, and we're going to transition to our jasmine color. So we're going to pull up a loop like we're going to single crochet, and when there's 2 loops on the hook, we're going to pull through those 2 with the new color. Pull tight on the loose end of the gold, and we're going to chain 1 with the new color and turn the work around. Now we're going to be double crocheting in each stitch across using the new working yarn, which is jasmine. So we're going to double crochet in each stitch. Our stitch count for each row is going to continue to be 28. And after I've worked a couple stitches into this row with the new color, I'm going to trim off the gold with a medium-sized tail, and then I like to tie the old tail and the beginning of the new color together just so that they don't come unraveled. Then we'll continue to place a double crochet in each stitch across for row 4, and I'll meet you back at the end of row 4 where we'll be transitioning back to our gold color. Here we are at the end of row 4. I've got 1 stitch left, so we're going to be changing back to gold. So we're going to double crochet like normal, pull up a loop, pull through 2, and then when there's 2 loops left on the hook, we're going to pull through those 2 loops with the gold color, transitioning back for the next few rounds. We're going to pull tight on the loose end of the jasmine and chain 1 and turn the work around. Now we're going to single crochet in each stitch across again. And once again, after we've worked a couple stitches into row 5, we're going to trim off the jasmine and tie those 2 tails together so they won't come unraveled. We're going to single crochet in each stitch across until we've reached the end of row 7. So I'll catch you back at the end of row 7 before we move on to the ridges of the crown. Here we are at the end of row 7. We've placed a single crochet in each stitch for 5, 6, and 7. Now we're going to work on the ridges at the top of the crown. So we're going to single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet, chain 2, and then double crochet again into that same stitch, and then half double crochet, and that's the sequence we'll be repeating all the way down. This creates the nice little points or ridges at the top of the crown. So I'll show you one more time how to do this sequence. We're going to single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet into that same stitch, and then a half double crochet into the next stitch. And we'll continue to repeat this sequence all the way until the end, and I'll catch you back at the end of row 8. The stitch count for row 8 is going to be 35, not including those chain stitches. So here we are coming up at the end. I have 1 stitch left on row 8. We're going to transition back to jasmine. So the last stitch is a half double crochet of the last sequence. So we have 3 loops on the hook like a normal half double crochet, and we're going to pull through those 3 loops with the jasmine color. Pull tight on the gold and chain 1 and turn the work around. Row 9 is our last row. We're going to slip stitch in each stitch across except for at the peak of these ridges we're going to chain 2. So I'm going to begin slip stitching. And when you get to the top where we chained 2 in the previous round, we'll chain 2 again and then slip stitch into that next stitch after the chain 2. And this gives the ridges a nice little point at the top. And we'll continue slip stitching all the way down. And then back up the other side. This is the last stitch before that chain 2, slip stitch, chain 2 where we chained 2 on the previous row, and then slip stitch into the next stitch after that chain 2. And down the other side. And we'll continue just like this all the way down until the end of this row. The stitch count should remain at 35, not including those chain 2 stitches. I'll trim off the gold and tie both of these tails together so they won't come unraveled. Here we are at the end of row 9. We're going to chain 1 and tie off with a medium tail, pulling through that chain 1 stitch to secure it. And this is what our crown is looking like. We're going to fold the right side onto the inside. So we're going to have the wrong side facing out. And to create our seam, we're going to use these long tails that we left and a handy dandy tapestry needle to stitch the seam up the sides. So we're going to line up the edges and use the longer tail to thread the tapestry needle. And we're just going to begin working stitches through both sides of the coffee sleeve. So we're going to run one stitch this direction and then the other in the next stitch. And we're using gold for this gold portion, paying close attention to the top and bottom of the seam so that it doesn't pull apart when you stretch it out over the coffee mug. After each section of that particular color, I like to tie the two tails together just to secure everything. So I'm going to double knot these. And we'll continue working down the tails with the corresponding colors until we've completed the seam. Here we are after the seam is stitched up. We're going to give these tails a little haircut. And now all we need to do is flip it right side out. And you can see that seam looks pretty good. And this completes our crochet crown coffee cozy. I love how this turned out. I hope you enjoyed crocheting with me today. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Your support allows me to continue creating these free videos for you, so I really appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you very soon with a new fun project.